crackling fire, the warm glow on our faces, the marshmallows turning that perfect golden brown. A campfire is supposed to be a place of warmth, laughter, and friendship. For my friends and me, it always was. Until that one night. The night that twisted our cozy tradition into a memory we'd spend the rest of our lives trying to forget. It started like any other weekend trip. We found our usual spot deep in the woods, far from any sign of civilization. The air was crisp, the stars were beginning to pepper the darkening sky, and the scent of pine was thick around us. There were 5 of us. Me, Jake, Chloe, Liam, and Maya. We were an inseparable group, bonded by years of adventures just like this one. As the flames danced higher, we settled into our familiar routine. Liam, our designated storyteller, was already gearing up. "All right, you guys ready for a spooky one?" he asked, his eyes glinting in the firelight. We all cheered him on. Liam's stories were legendary, just scary enough to make you jump at every snap of a twig, but always ending with a laugh. This time, however, something felt different. He began a tale about the very woods we were in. He spoke of an old legend, a story passed down by locals about a whispering walker, a spirit that roamed these trees, forever searching for something it had lost. It was said that the spirit didn't want to harm anyone. It was just lonely and would mimic the sounds of the forest to try and communicate the rustle of leaves, the call of an owl, even the whispers of campers. The legend warned that if you heard your own voice whispered back at you from the darkness, you should never, ever answer. We all chuckled, a little nervously. It was a good story, perfectly suited for the setting. As Liam finished, an unsettling silence fell over our group, broken only by the crackle of the fire. That's when we heard it, a faint rustling from just beyond the ring of light. "Probably just a squirrel," Chloe said, trying to sound casual, but her eyes were wide. "Yeah, or a raccoon trying to steal our marshmallows," Jake added with a forced laugh. We tried to brush it off, to start a new conversation, but the woods seemed to be holding their breath. Then came another sound, a soft hoot, like an owl, but it was off. It sounded strained, unnatural, almost like a person trying to imitate an owl. We looked at each other, the smiles gone from our faces. "Okay, Liam, very funny," Maya said, her voice trembling slightly. "You can stop now." Liam's face was pale. "That's not me," he whispered, his eyes locked on the darkness surrounding us. The forest fell silent again. For a long, tense minute, we just sat there, listening, and then the most terrifying sound of all cut through the night. It was a whisper, carried on the wind, and it was my name. It was faint, distorted, but it was unmistakably my voice, as if a recording of me was being played back from somewhere deep in the trees. My blood ran cold. Every instinct screamed at me to stay quiet, to remember Liam's story. But Jake, ever the skeptic, stood up. "Who's out there?" he yelled into the darkness. "This isn't funny." His voice echoed and then faded. Silence. A moment later, we heard it again. "Who's out there?" This time, it was a perfect mimicry of Jake's voice, laced with an eerie, hollow quality. It came from a different direction now, closer. Panic set in. Chloe let out a small sob. We huddled closer to the fire, our only source of light and comfort in a world that had suddenly become hostile. The sounds started coming faster. A twig snapped to our left, a soft footstep to our right, a bird call from directly behind us. It felt like we were surrounded, being toyed with by something unseen. Then came Maya's voice, a whispered "help me" that seemed to come from right beside her ear. She screamed, scrambling back so fast she nearly fell into the fire. We were all on our feet now, our backs to the fire, staring into the oppressive blackness. Liam, who had been frozen in fear, finally found his voice. "We have to go. Now." There was no argument. We abandoned everything, our tent, our supplies, the still burning fire. We just ran. We scrambled through the undergrowth, branches whipping at our faces, our lungs burning. The sounds followed us. Whispers of our own voices, snippets of our earlier conversations, Our laughter now turned into a haunting echo that chased us through the trees. It felt like the forest itself was mocking us, using our own words to drive us mad. We did unstop running until we burst out of the woods and onto the dirt road where we deparked the car. Fumbling with the keys, my hands shaking so badly I could barely fit it in the lock, we piled inside. We didn't speak as we sped away, leaving the woods and whatever was in them behind. We never went back. We never camped again. The five of us, 11 so close, drifted apart after that night. The experience fractured something between us, a shared trauma that we couldn't voice. How do you explain to someone that the woods whispered your own fears back at you? How do you admit that a silly ghost story came true? Sometimes, late at night, when I'm alone and it's too quiet, I can still hear it. A faint whisper on the edge of my hearing. It's a chilling reminder of that night, of the fire, and of the darkness that answered back. That campfire was supposed to be just another happy memory. Instead, it became the night that changed everything. Thanks for listening to my story. If you have a true scary story of your own, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories from the dark. Stay safe out there.